Alright, I've got my micro-injectable materials here, and I hope you wonder why I've got everything belted to me and ready to move, because I have to move around the tree and everything has to move with me as I go. I'm going to put in the multi-nutrient capsule called Nutrijet Complete. I'm going to put in Merit, which is the insecticide, and then I'm going to apply the Cystrex nutrient, which has a fungicide component to it in addition to being a nutrient, and that combination of ingredients should do it. So let's start right here. This is with the Nutrijet Complete. I'm going to shake it up, pull my drill, locate a spot right here, 45-degree angle. And pull it out. Now, one of the things that I'd like to point out to each of you is when the material comes out and you look at the consistency of this pulp, if it's real dry and it's an off color, chances are you're in a little bit more trouble than what you think. But because we've done enough of these, done literally thousands of them, and injections just like this, and when you get this pulp out of here and it's a nice color and it's got some moisture to it, chances are you've got life and you're doing well. One other caveat when dealing with these older trees is if you can't get within the depth of this tip nice fresh tissue, then you're going to have to use a chisel and chisel some of that bark away, and I'll do that on one of the others as I move around, but right now this one looks like it'll be just fine. I'm going to place it in here. The tip's been in place. I'm going to put it in here like that. I'm going to get my striker. And we're going to put it right on here like that, and we're going to seat it until you got the bubbles that come, and then we pressurize it with 20 pounds of pressure. That one's leaking. Now it's seated. Alright, I'm going to make another injection. But since I had a little bit of a problem sealing this capsule off, I'm going to make sure that I use a chisel. And I've got, on a tree this size, you have to go down until you got almost live tissue right there. See what I'm doing? And then I'm going to take my drill and we'll put it right here. We got nice white pith coming out of there. Now I'm going to get one of my Merit capsules. This is a imidacloprid. We're going to put the tip in it like this, and then we're going to place it right in here. And then we're going to seat it. And that looks like a pretty good seat. And then I'm going to go to the next one. I'm going to do the same thing. There's a little bit of bark in the way here, so I'm going to use this chisel. And this is what's necessary on some of these bigger old hardwoods. And one of the reasons we're having to use micro-injection to begin with, see I'm down to good tissue there, nice and solid. Then I'm going to get my Nutrijet, I'm going to get my Cystrex nutrient, which is my fungicide. I'm going to shake it up to make sure everything's there. Put my cap on it. I'm going to put the tip in there. And then I'm going to drill my hole. Place this in there just like that. Seat it gently, and then seat it all the way in there like that. So now I've got my Nutrijet Complete, which is a multi-nutrient, including some micronutrients that are very essential for the tree's uptake and health. I've got the Merit, which is the imidacloprid, the insecticide, and then I've got the Cystrex nutrient, which is a fungicide. So I'm able to deal with all of these things in one treatment as I go around the tree. So now I'm going to reposition. I'm going to do the same thing, and it looks like I'm going to have about 16 or 18 of these throughout the tree. All right, one of the additional analysis that I'm doing as I move around the tree is I've got my little removal tool here, and I've noticed how much of the collar has filled in. And this is what, just with natural cultural practices, this wasn't anything on purpose. This has a lot to do with the tree itself, because there's a lot of acorns, and when you see a lot of acorns, at least we know that we have succeeded in getting this tree to fruit. And acorns being the fruit of the tree, we know that we're succeeding. And so let's go back to our process again. We're going to go over here. We're going to take a little bit of this bark out. We're going to drill my 11/64" hole. I'm still getting nice, white, moist pith. It's important that you watch this continuously throughout the tree, because you'll run into different parts of the tree that don't have good circulation, and the tree will tell you by showing you dry, discolored pith. And so we're going to go back to the Nutrijet Complete. We're going to put the tip in. We're going to get the striker. We're going to place it here, and then we're going to put it in here and strike it gently until we hear that septum break, and pressurize it. And we've got it. And when you get the technique down pretty good, you'll be able to start picking things up. Now, over here on this side, I've got a little decay where it looks like some of this is in the way. There's not an anchor root over here, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a spot right here. It's already hard. I don't have to take any bark off of that spot. I'm going to drill right here. And I'm going to place the Cystrex nutrient. Put the tip in, place the striker. In we go. See the bubbles? And pressurize. All right, now as we move around our tree, we've got a changing environment, and you're going to have to be alert to what you must change in order to do this. And so we've got a little bit of fluffy bark, which means that we're going to indicate for this customer a follow-up action, which means that we have to get in here, do the root collar again, clean this out so that a lot of this fluffy bark has been eliminated. I don't see any insects or anything climbing around it, and so that's a good sign. We've probably done that. Most of the problems that she's having are up in the canopy, and that's why we're going into the system systemically. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right down here where I think looks like a pretty good spot. I'm going to make sure I got a nice hard spot there, which I do. I'm going to put my drill in, start it out this way, then slant it up 45 degrees, and in I go. Alright, now this is getting a little bit drier. You see how it was sort of fluffy and flew into the wind? And that is a part of this tree that's under stress. I'm going to get my imidacloprid, my Merit, put the tip in, striker, in we go. Pressurize, and we're going up. All right, we'll do the same thing here. We've got some nice bark that is forming. None of it, it all appears to be fairly well attached. There's a few loose pieces here, but there's no rot, decay, or any of that bad looking stuff that you'll see. And so what we're going to do is clear us off another spot right here. Get ready. Mount another capsule right there. Nice, moist pith coming out of that spot. Get the Nutrijet complete. Tip, striker, in we go. You can hear that septum in there crack a little bit. Pressurize it, and it's on the way up. All right, we're going to continue to move around the tree. I'm getting back to a part of the tree where we've got a recognizable flare. All right, I've got some little bigger bark plates on this side of the tree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my hammer and I'm going to pull this away until I get down to good tissue. There it is right there. You see it? All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and put another merit in here to make sure that we get enough of the insecticide that gets up in there. Drill my hole. Clean it out. Place the capsule and seat it. You see bubbles in the capsule. Pressurize it with 20 pounds and we'll go from there. We got another one over here. Good sight. I'm going to go down just a little bit lower and we'll knock this loose. That bark is nice, well attached bark. Okay, I'm going to drill it. And it's worth noting here that this bark is the outer periderm, which is the combination of dead cells that the tree has accumulated. Let me put my tip in there. And just on the inside, this nice moist white tissue is called meristemic tissue, and that's where the phloem and the xylem. See it? Bubbles, pressure. There you go. And that meristemic tissue contains both phloem and xylem. And this is exactly the location where this liquid needs to be placed in the tree so that its veins take it up into the canopy with its own natural pressure and the additional 20 pounds of pressure that we put into it. I'm going to get a count and an inventory of exactly what we have in here. And it's very important that you record what you put in, when you put in, and have the owner monitor the rate of uptake. How quickly does it take these capsules to empty? And make sure that this information gets registered in the job quote, because you'll have to transfer this information depending on what your state regulations are. You're going to have to transfer this information into an insecticide logbook that says where it was, when it was, and what it was. So keep your records, and you'll know what success looks like when you see it and these capsules are taken up into the tree.